Right now, everyone continues to hold their breath on Shiba Inu. The cost has been swinging both directions. People are hypothesizing about what is occurring, and Coinbase also dropped something huge to feed the flames. Apparently, current questions surround several hundred billions of Shiba Inu. But here's the important point. Additionally intervening was the Shiba Inu team, who cleared something real for them. The what is happening. And why will Shiba Inu remain permanently in the history book today? So let me clarify. Welcome to Dr. Crypto, your daily serving of Shiba. This is the spot for you if you're curious about anything related to Shiba. If you want to keep informed about all the latest news forecasts and stay ahead of the crypto industry, subscribe. To get more Shib news, be sure to click the like button. Shiba Inu have been somewhat erratic. The cost has been riding a roller coaster, flitting around. Here is the encouraging news, however. At last things are slowing down. That alone has folks talking as the chart is beginning to settle somewhat. Here's where it gets much more crazy, however. Some folks are very excited, while others are rubbing their heads trying to understand what is occurring. The reason is because something really big just fell directly from Coinbase, and it's causing heads to turn. Apparently, today's Shiba Inu token movement was really significant. Just one transaction amounts to billions. Every day you do not see that. And almost on time, just like ideal timing, the Shiba Inu team made a shocking revelation. Not anything Shiba Inu have ever experienced before. Though I know you're most likely anxious to know what it is, hold out for a moment. Let's enlarge and quickly review what this implies for Shiba Inu's graph as it is today. Here's the intriguing bit then. Shiba Inu is displaying great strength even if it has declined from its previous highs by quite a margin. One expert noted that significant holdings are nowhere, they are not dumping. Actually, it seems as if they are acting in reverse. Right at a crucial level, Shiba Inu is hanging somewhat under a few significant moving averages. Though it is not in a full-on breakout mode yet, it has recovered from its April lows and is now moving into significant zones once again. There is a subdued gathering of momentum here. And look at this as well. On-chain data points something rather positive. Whale activity is increasing quickly. The largest holders' inflows over the previous several months are rather high. There has been a clear surge only this last week, generally indicating buildup. They are loading in. Concurrent with this, outflows, that is, individuals selling their tokens, have decreased significantly. That indicates there is no whale exodus. Not selling, they are staying around and maybe even shifting tokens between wallets. More importantly, the quantity of Shiba Inu wallets containing significant sums, 6 to 8 figures worth, has increased greatly. Usually it indicates someone who is in it for the long run. These are not flippers for short-term gains. These are long-term followers setting themselves ahead of anything significant. And here is the important point. Actually, a little fall in smaller account addresses fits a move towards larger holders. That sort of redistribution usually occurs just before a period of consistent quiet development. The market seems to be resetting, steadying, and preparing for the next major shift. Regarding major movements, only Coinbase upset the whole Shiba Inu community. So get this, something significant occurred only a few hours ago. Someone who had been silently accumulating Shiba Inu over the previous month, a giant whale, just made a big movement. Almost 200 billion coins have been progressively gathered by this individual. Indeed, billion, all beneath the radar. Suddenly, however, they just transferred the whole bag right back to Coinbase in a single transaction. We are talking about Shiba Inu moving in one shot for millions of dollars. What then does it often mean? It might indicate they're getting ready for sales. Alternatively, they may already have done. It becomes much more fascinating as well. Looking at the wallets past, all those Shiba Inu coins initially arrived from Coinbase over the last several weeks in 3 distinct pieces, gently and silently. They were valued somewhat less at the time than they are now. Based on the calculations, this whale may have just completed a flawless round trip, earning hundreds of millions of dollars. Sounds like a triumph, right? Here is when things start to seem somewhat odd, in a positive sense, however. Every token was returned straight back to the very same Coinbase wallet from which they originated. Generally speaking, typical individual traders do not show that. That comes more from something organized, something inside. Perhaps it wasn't even a usual whale trade. It could have been a component of something more significant occurring behind scenes. That's why Shiba Inu find this to be really significant. The timing is amazing, whether this was a real transaction or just an internal shift between Coinbase accounts. This action occurred just when Shiba Inu's market price was soaring. Over only a few weeks, the value of the whale's stocks skyrocketed. This is where it gets interesting. They are preparing the ground for something much more. Either they knew precisely what was going to happen and left at the ideal moment, or else. What then does this all imply for Shiba Inu? It calls for attention, large money, action, and maybe momentum. Since these kind of actions are not random, should this be only a normal sell-off, it wouldn't have returned directly to the same hot wallet. That one nuance transforms everything. It implies that behind the scenes, maybe an insider shift, perhaps a strategic positioning, perhaps even preparation for a significant listing update, utility transfer, or announcement. Would they understand something we do not? Exists any insider knowledge circulating about, something the people haven't yet been informed of? Presumably, whales move like weight, particularly in trades, typically in response to something more significant. Something is in development, and the outcome is positive regardless of the precise cause. The reason is since Shiba Inu is once again under public attention. The charts help me to relax. The whales are animated, there is accumulating. And now, right in front of everyone's sight, millions of dollars worth of Shiba Inu have made a huge, audacious gesture. This type of vigor is precisely what begins to drive Shiba Inu into the next stage, one in which it starts shaking off excess zeros and pushing for fresh milestones. And if history teaches us anything, Shiba Inu like making unexpected explosive motions when least expected. There are all the components here. Price consolidation, whale activity, trade movement, community excitement. Thus, we are seeing something significant happen, whether this is just the start of a strategy change or the quiet before a breakthrough. And from any angles you cut it, it's positive. Shiba Inu is not completed. Not quite close. It's just starting to heat up. And just in ideal time, the Shiba Inu developer crew made a big news to us. Actually, this is rather significant and marks a first in Shiba Inu history. Thus, investigate this. The Zip2 app has launched a new update allowing Shiba Inu holders to access Shibarium and Shiba Swap in one location. Get rid of jumping between wallets and applications. Alright, there is. Simple, quick, cheap costs, and very user-friendly design. Like the entire Shiba Inu ecology compressed onto your phone. But it becomes much more wild. They also drop something like Fort Knox for your Shiba Inu tokens, the Vault keycard. Zip2 is the very first to do this for Shiba Inu. It's cold storage level safety with next-generation protection. For trust and safety, it is a huge gain. Shiba Inu rises from being a meme to a legitimate participant in the DeFi arena from this type of things. Actual use, actual accessibility, real acceptance. And you better believe that type of development carries price action with it. Shiba Inu is being used by more individuals, more tokens trapped behind them. Extra thrills, and certainly less zeros on that cost. And we could be witnessing breakthrough real soon. One expert claims Shiba Inu is very close to something major. Here is then what is happening. Examining Shiba Inu's prior movements, a trader called Mike, who has been learning charts using TradingView, found very unusual results. He turned all the way back to that huge late 2021 sprint, the one Shiba Inu entered on an absolute tier, and the cost skyrocketed. The chart from back then revealed robust, assured purchasing, enormous green candles shooting across the screen. That was all momentum and hype. After that high, everything dropped down. Shiba Inu sort of meandered in this long, steady downturn from late 2021 all the way via early this year. The key, however, is here. It wasn't just individuals peddling. Mike said that there were indicators the sale wasn't even natural. Plenty of long, wicked candles. Strange behavior that would really indicate manipulation instead than just individuals losing interest. Buyers were still turning up, strong, even with all of it. Here comes the fun part right now. Mike saw a level he names the trend killer. Shiba Inu has attempted this difficult resistance line before, but never completely broken. Still, get this. Real strength developing is returning under his eyes. Actually, he moved early this month when the everyday candle became bullish once again. Now he is looking at some delicious price objectives, which, should they be reached, would cause Shiba Inu to mobilize strongly. Return to level hard in 2021. And not only is it him. Another observer seeing Rose Premium alerts over on X also noted something rather optimistic. One of those classic indicators that things are likely to turn higher, Shiba Inu just broke out from a falling wedge formation. It's like the strain has been building and is now at last breaking through. And to be honest, this all fits our present observations. Whales are active, developers are releasing significant changes, the charts are stable, community buzz is building. Everything seems to be at last aligning. On this, however, what is your view? Write down below. The day is over now. Remember to give it a big thumbs up. To see our most recent material, share it, and subscribe to the channel.